The word of the day is Schadenfreude. And Schadenfreude is German for uh, getting joy out of the distress of others. And I think the internet has put the Schadenfreude on steroids. So much so, ever watch the legal Zoom court? I watch Zoom court now. I watch Zoom court in part because it just fascinates me. Just fascinates me. Because I was in court in the 90s. And of course, none of that went on because we didn't have Zoom, we didn't have COVID, all this kind of stuff. And now they have all this. But the judges now, I mean, people just talking and talking and talking about their upset and their work. Judges getting cursed out is just awful. And anyway, but I watch it because I'm fascinated by people, what people do, what people think. How they can go from I know everything to victim in a sentence because they come in swinging and then they realize they swung at the wrong thing and judge swings back and it ain't a fair fight. But but now those sites, and I love them, I enjoy watching them. I just think human nature is so fascinating. And I also just it's what I used to do all day long, every day. I don't know why. Somebody asked me why I still do it. I don't know. I probably need a hobby, and I'm working on that too. But now they have to have disclaimers on the shows in the beginning that says, "Please do not harass the people that appeared in this court proceeding." There are enough people who will watch somebody online having like a horrible day. They're talking about childcare, custody, being evicted from their homes. They're having the worst time of their lives. And the community at large, which I am a part of, but I don't engage in this, finds the need to harass them. They're already having a bad day. They got nothing to do with you, nothing to do with me, but they get harassed because for some reason we get some joy out of it. And I don't quite know what it is, but it is a part of human nature. But I try to be the anti-Schadenfreude chick when I leave the house. I really do. I have this hat on, and I try to just get along with folks. And the first thing I need to do is make sure I don't allow my emotions to straddle events. Before I leave the threshold of my door, I have to know where my head is. If it's in the right place to conduct business with the community large, and if it is not, I need to adjust said attitude until my attitude gets right so I can get out and not make a mess. And I'm a moody chick, so I have to do it all the time. And I think we all should do it all the time. I really do. But anyway, as part of my process of being a widow walking her way out of the weeds, I have begun to do those things I don't want to do. My mother was always about, when in doubt, do the hard thing. Now, the easy thing was for the last 6 days, I stayed in the house. I didn't deal with nobody. I had to put my hat on. I could have my hair out. And just because I done cut it all off, it looks just horrifying. Well, maybe I look at that. I'm having to get something, put it in there. I just messed it up. But you gotta have your mind right before you go anywhere. And I couldn't get my mind right enough to get out of the house. And I finally, Gary hit me up and said, "Are you coming to teach English today?" Because I teach adults English. And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to come." I didn't want to when I said yeah, but I did. And for me, it's difficult. I believe that the best way to get over yourself is to help somebody who's in worse shape than you. And the people that are learning English are from countries that are war torn and all this kind of stuff. So it's good. And in the beginning, I didn't quite like it because it was a little bit boring. The man threw the ball over the fence. The man threw the ball under the fence. Da 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 da. But then I found out that if you do your own thing with it, you know what I mean? Learn to love it on your own. That was another one of my mother's rules. If there's something you must do, find a way to enjoy it. Now, I don't have to do this, but I have to do something. And I have to do it consistently. And I have to do something for other people because it's the best way for me to get where I'm trying to be, which is not sad anymore. And I'm not working night right now, so there's there is a sogginess to my week. And I sunk into the sog this past week. 6 days didn't leave the house. I mean, I didn't even go outside in the backyard. Just terrible. Just terrible. But when he texted me and said, coming to class tomorrow, I said, yeah, even though I wanted to say no. And then I went to class and I did that thing that made class good for me, which is eventually, at some point during class, I know everybody's turning around. Not everybody, but people near me are turning around looking at me because I'm loud. I am loud and excitable. I don't come in, the dog, the dog. What the dog do? What you mean? And I get all in it. The dog went where? Where was he there? Why wasn't he at the museum? Because he was at the park. Was the dog at the park? Get loud and ridiculous with it. High-fiving folks, laughing. They're look at me. How could you be so loud and raucous at a thing like this? But it's more fun for everybody. And me and the dude, when we were leaving, there's always a word for today. And the word for today was argue. So he walked up to me as one of my buddies in there. He speaks a little French. He speaks a lot of French. I speak a little French. But anyway, we only speak English in class because speaking another language is against the rules. And he says, do you argue with your neighbors? And I said, no, I do not argue with my neighbors. Do you argue with your neighbors? And I said, he goes, no, I do not argue with my neighbors. Well, have you ever argued with? And we started going through the word argue with every declination, past tense, every tense, every declination, all of it. And people were laughing at us when we were walking out of the building doing that. And it was in a church, and other people were looking at us. And we were just, because he was getting comfortable with the language by goofing around with me. And I was enjoying him because I was getting to goof around. You know what I mean? You can find something to love about what you must do, and you don't have. Let your must-dos be your must-dos. Like, I must do this, not because somebody told you to do it, because I must do this class because it's good for me. I'm also taking jujitsu. My first class is going to be tomorrow. And when I put in my age on the form, I felt the need to put an asterisk and say, I'm in better shape than my year of birth would indicate. Because I was thinking I might get a call back saying, lady, we don't do senior citizens like this. So, but anyway, and I'm just going to the class that's easiest for me to get to. I don't like to drive during rush hour, so it has to be in the middle of the day, and they have an all-women's class in the evening, but I don't want to go nowhere in the evening because I don't like driving in the dark. I don't like being in the dark. So, so anyway, oh yeah, I got a lot of struggles. But my mother always said, do the hard thing. So I'm going to do, I accommodated my fears in that I found a jujitsu class that is 1.6 miles from the crib. That's what I did. So I can't, the fear part of my brain will say, well, you don't want to drive over there. I do. I can drive over there somewhere. I know right where it is, all that kind of stuff, and I'm going to go. But it's important. I've lost my train of thought. Have you seen that? And it went by. The thing I'm saying is this. Where you are is where you are. But you oftentimes not quite sure where it is unless you check your program. And then once you check your program, you have to decide if where your head is is emotionally where it needs to be to do the things that it has to do. You know? And one of the things it doesn't need to do is get joy out of other people's pain. You should be like that. And I know we don't have a lot of good examples out there today, and I know everybody's upset for a lot of very good reasons. And what I'm trying to do is navigate my not doing well in a manner that does not require the rest of the world to be subjected to my less than bestness. My less than bestness is, I don't want to subject the world to my less than bestness. I just don't want to do it. I figure the more I control myself, the less likely other people will have an opportunity to control me. I don't know if it's true or not. Well, it's been so true so far. But anyway, Schadenfreude. Next time you're looking and you're getting a kick out of watching other people suffer, just back up off that a little bit. Ask yourself, what's happening here? What's going on? And then if what's going on is not good, decide what you can do to change what's happening in here. But let's get a little less joy. You don't want to join the bullies. You want to be an anti-bully person. You know what I mean? It's easy to be a bully. Hard to do the hard thing. So y'all can talk about me if I don't go to jiu-jitsu when I tell you. And if it doesn't look like it's going to work out, we're going to have to find me something else to do. But the chick got to get up out of the bed, which has been increasingly. Hello, Decker. How are you? Come on. Increasingly a struggle. I got my love boy here, right here. Decker. So I can stay home and still have company. Y'all have a good day.